while the weather's good before that's forecasted to have the winds pick up, and to try to do a really firm aerial attack to try to keep it contained and controlled.
Mike, do you know how many homes, roughly? You said multiple homes were lost.
We have no idea. We're just looking at the rough burn perimeter and how the fire burned, and just we believe that a number of structures are likely impacted.
Do you have any idea of the cause?
Huh?
Any idea of what the cause might be?
We know it's still too early to determine what the cause is. We did check the lightning strike indicator. There's no indication that it was weather related or caused by lightning, which would at least preliminarily rule out natural causes, but that is still under investigation.
And the homes that were lost, would they have been down in that Lake of the Pines area? Mike, do you know?
We don't know. We're assuming, just based again on the fire behavior and the way that it moved, that there are homes or structures that are damaged or lost. We don't know where yet. The fire scene was still really dynamic, so we couldn't even get a damage assessment team or even a real good assessment by fire or law enforcement personnel in the area to figure out what may have been impacted.
Can you speak to how fast and quickly this fire moved?
Yeah, so like I said, it popped up just shortly after noon, and I want to say that the overflight that determined that acreage was about 4 or 5 hours later. Don't quote me on the exact number. And so it rapidly expanded to the east, going from essentially 1 acre as initially reported during that initial confirmed flyover to the 7,046 we had earlier this evening.
And forgive me if you mentioned this already, I apologize, but what do you got terrain-wise up there, and what challenges does all of that present for you people?
Yeah, the terrain is really challenging on the north side of the fire. That's really rocky. As it rolls in, the next ridge over is the South St. Vrain Canyon. Left-hand canyon up to the peak to peak. There's a lot of urban interface there, a lot of homes, ranches, things like that. Animal evacuations, animals impacted. So it's a very broad terrain.
And did it jump the highway? Did it jump 36?
It did jump 36. There was a fire that jumped. It was contained at about 60 acres and has been fully secured.
And it's all north of Left Hand?
All north of Left Hand Canyon, I believe, at this point.
The Greenbrier stands, do you know?
I don't know, but I have not heard that it was damaged.
Knowing that Cameron Peak Fire has been burning for a long time, today was a red flag warning. Can you talk about how you guys were feeling and just what conditions were like in Boulder County and what happened today?
Well, we've been concerned for some time around the fire danger just locally in Boulder County. We've been in level 2 or stage 2 fire restrictions for a number of weeks. Now countywide, that's pretty atypical. Normally those level of restrictions are only in the mountainous areas, but it has been so dry and just such high fire danger combined with lack of firefighting resources because of the number of fires not only in Colorado but across the West, that we've been really concerned about it. So we've had several other smaller wildfires that have popped up over the last week or two that thankfully we were able to get out quick, but this one we weren't able to. It just exploded.
So again, if you could just one more time repeat yourself, I apologize. The challenge tomorrow and the air attack, how essential will that be?
From what I understand, I'm not a firefighter, but from what I understand from fire personnel is that's going to be really important. Their main goal is to try to hit it as hard as they can from the air, to try to knock down as much of the fire as they can before the winds start picking up later in the day.
And what is the forecast for tomorrow?
My understanding is the forecast is another high fire danger day, and it sounds like it's going to get windier in the afternoon.
The winds died down this evening. Was that helpful at all?
They did. Again, not being a firefighter, when I was at the command post and walked outside, it was actually fairly calm winds. So we were several miles as the crow flies from the actual fire footprint, but I think that was helpful.
Not to put words in your mouth, but does it appear that the luck ran out here during the fire season for Boulder County with this event?
Yeah, we've been very fortunate for this late in the season. We have so many recreationalists that are out. We've had so many other just minor things, lightning strike. There's just things that sometimes aren't avoidable, and this one, while we don't know the cause, it exploded quick. So some messaging went out earlier tonight around the town of Lyons, including Apple Valley Road, just in anticipation or preparation. to be prepared to evacuate. There's no expectation at this point that that's going to need to occur, but as they're looking, and they meaning fire managers and the incident management team, of how fire may behave tomorrow, that's one of the areas of concern that they just want to give people as much advance notice as possible to be prepared, that if the winds were to shift, if the fire were to shift north or something like that, that is a huge population center, and so the larger the population base, the longer it takes to evacuate and get people to safety.
Do we have any idea how many residents themselves have been displaced by the fire?
So the evacuation notices that went out that were mandatory, the number of residents was over 2,900, shy of 3,000, somewhere in between there, and about 1,600 homes.
And currently, how many are under that mandatory evacuation?
My understanding is that's still the same number for the mandatory evacuation firebox.
Do you know how many agencies you have involved in the fire right now?
We don't. I tried to get a rough number on my way out here because I knew the question would come up, and so many resources poured in so quickly to try to knock this thing down early on. We're still trying to tabulate how many resources we have from how many different locations, departments, agencies.
But you made the point before that those resources are spread pretty thin right now.
Yeah, I think firefighting resources are spread just really thin across the West is a general statement. We have been getting resource orders filled, and so there are resources coming. But it's been a lot of cooperative work between the fire agencies and fire management teams, understanding you only have so many resources to draw from and to try to, everyone work together.
Some people might wonder, with 1,300 people on the Cameron Peak fire, how they can then get enough people out here with you guys.
Yes.
I mean, it seems complicated.
Yeah, it is, and that's why these incident management teams are so critical to effective management of incidents and wildfires, and especially when you get into multiple incidents within close proximity and resource limitations of figuring out how to share resources so that everyone is taken care of.